Hello, and welcome back to Midnight Grappler Animals. You thought it's spooky season? Maybe. It's sequel season for us. We are doing sequels to a lot of episodes we did way back when. So join us for part two of today's installment. With me, I have my Canadian nuclear scientist, Lan. How are you
You
today?
you always make it sound like a slur. I don't get it. How do you do that? How do you manage to I mean, granted, totally fine. I get it. But at the same time,
It's mandated by order of my God King Trump.
right, the executive order to make Canadian sound
I say
like a slur.
Canadian. Yeah, I
Yeah,
gotta
you say with
spit
a
it a
hard
little bit.
N. Yeah.
For longtime
Surprisingly
listeners,
I will say I think that's going to be
yeah,
like the least racist thing we talk about in this episode.
unfortunately. Um, yeah, for longtime listeners, we did an episode on a film called The Pope Drops In. Among my many film interests, I am rabidly fascinated with independent Christian cinema, and Lan was brave enough to join me on the journey of Pope Drops In. I
I
really
had a
like that.
blast. I had a blast
Yeah,
watching it, you know?
and
Where
I'll
else are
get
you gonna
into
see
that
Brick from Borderlands as the Pope? You
as
know,
the first African Pope.
as the first African Pope, exactly.
Yeah, we'll get into that for this episode, but like I legitimately enjoyed that movie too. Like I don't agree with the ethics or the morals of most Christian cinema, but there is a vision there, and I'm entertained
Hmm.
because I don't know what's going to happen next. So that film is deeply correlated to today's subject, Notzilla, the 2019 Kaiju spoof film directed by Mitch Teamley. Um,
So what is the connection? Because I was initially because I remember during that episode you said that you found the Pope drops in from Notzilla, and now we're going back the other way. What
right.
is the connection?
I am so glad you asked. Just to remind listeners, if you haven't listened to our Pope Drops In episode, which you should, it's over on Patreon, patreon.com, Midnight Grappler Animals. Um, you will see the Pope watching Notzilla, and he says, "This is so funny." Remember that clip?
Yes, because there's that one point where he's just chilling in the guy's house, right? And he's just watching.
All
Hmm.
right, so this is where it all comes
Okay.
together. Do you remember when this? Well, first of all, do you remember the production studio for the Pope Drops In?
Not by
Saint
name.
Michael Movies.
Okay.
So they are chiefly a faith-based film studio, right? They've
Right,
done five or
right.
six faith-based films. Now, do you remember the
Uh-huh.
production studio for the start of this movie?
Indie
It was
rights.
it was
Isn't it just indie?
I think that might
That's
have
the only
been a
credit I saw.
distributor. There was another title card that said Creepy Ex-Boyfriend. Creepy
Oh.
Ex-Boyfriend is Saint Michael. They just changed their name.
So it used to be creepy boyfriend and then or creepy ex-boyfriend and then it turned into Saint Michael, or is it the other way around?
No, I didn't explain that right. It's always been Saint Michael. It's a pseudonym for this movie.
Oh.
So
Like an
that is the
imprint almost.
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And that's the
Huh.
perfect segue into the production history of this film. You ready to go?
I'm ready. Oh my god, this is all new to me, so yes.
I'm so excited for you to go on this journey with me, Lan. All right. So the director of this film is Mitch Teamley, and he had
Mm-hmm.
a supporting part in The Pope Drops In, and you see
Right.
a few actors in that movie in here. Now, Mitch claims he was a big fan of Godzilla and monster films when he was a kid. And I don't mean claims in any skeptical sense. He says he would go to like the local theater and watch a double feature almost every weekend. So like I think he knows all his monsters.
Right.
He got so inspired watching these movies that hanging out with one of his friends in high school, he says, "Let's make a monster movie." And the monster movie they conceive of, I believe, was called Kraga. They were going to make a spoof of Godzilla set in Japan. So I want you to imagine, Lan, a bunch of white boys from Ohio in high school shooting
Okay.
a movie set in Japan where they would play Japanese people, and the
Oh.
movie we were robbed of.
Um. So you're saying these are all white guys, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
That movie never happened though. So he just sat on the movie for a while. He mentioned it was college professor. College professor says, "This is genius. You have to shoot this somehow." Mitch's life goes on. He
Hmm.
moves to Los Angeles. He gets into the film industry, and he somehow like I think he entered a festival where you just submit screenplays, and this won an award. Um,
It won. Notzilla won an award.
right when it was a screenplay, and it had a different title. I think it was called like Notzilla, Duke of the Monsters.
Okay.
Uh, so I'm gonna be, probably flubbing a few like dates and overlapping some things, but the spirit of this is true,
Hmm.
right? So he's in LA and he's shopping it around, and oh, so it was the World Fest competition is where this one. He's shopping
Okay.
this around, and at one point he submits this to Toho. He actually got a response from Toho. They said, "Thank you. We're not interested in undermining our product like this." Um, at another point, this movie gets submitted to Warner Brothers, and Warner Brothers actually agrees they're going to produce this
Oh.
through one of their imprints. But that sub studio gets shut down because another movie goes over budget. At one point, both Patrick Warburton and George Takei were attached to star.
Holy shit. Okay.
So, like, what we really need to imagine, dear listener, is Notzilla, for as big as it was as an indie phenom, could have been like something at your local cinema. Like, it could have been so much bigger.
Like Kung Fury 2 if it actually came out.
Right, right.
Okay.
Or something that did come out that I think would be comparable was, what was that, like Kung Pao, Enter the Fist?
Oh yeah, the Steve
That's a very
Odekirk. Yeah,
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 that's a
yeah.
similar style. So then, but the movie that Warner was doing went over budget. That imprint at Warner shut down, so the movie got kind of shuffled around.
Thanks,
Oh
Zack
yeah.
Snyder.
Oh, thanks, Harvey Weinstein. Your one mistake.
How deep does the web go?
Right. Oh, and the other trivia I found fascinating is apparently Pat Morita was also attached at one point and very enthused to do this.
Wait, when did Pat Morita die?
I think Pat Morita died maybe 5 years ago. I don't know. I mean, but
He died in 2005.
Math is hard.
But wait. Does that mean that this movie's been in production for like
Yes, that's what I'm trying to
decades?
say.
Holy
Yeah.
shit. Okay.
Yeah. All right, so that brings us up to the present-ish day. This takes us to like, circa 2015, 16.
Mhm.
Team Lee had done a faith-based film for Saint Michael. They said, "This is great. What else you got?" And Team Lee, as I imagine, threw up his hands and said, "I don't really have another faith-based film, but I do have this Godzilla spoof we could do." And according to him, the studio said, well, what they agreed on is this could be like a bake sale, right? Like the way that churches do bake sales of baked goods to support the church.
Uh-huh.
And they agreed on it. They said, okay, but you got to set it in Cincinnati. So the script got retooled once more. Whole thing got set in Ohio, and that is how St. Michael Productions ended up producing Notzilla.
In Ohio.
Yeah, which means hello.
Yes, I hate to say this. That is the one joke that did get a laugh out of me because it caught me off guard. It did catch me off guard, so kudos to this movie. You got the one laugh.
So that brings us up to the present day, and that was to answer Lan's question of like, wait, St. Michael was Creepy Expert Fund? Yeah, they just called themselves something else to distribute this movie.
Got it.
So now people know how this. I can call it a monstrosity and not be mean, actually, because it's about a monster.
Sure.
Um,
Yeah.
but now people know how this monstrosity got made. Notzilla. It's on Tubi. How did you watch it, Lan?
Yeah, on Tubi. The way God intended, you know. Just popped
But
it on,
really,
watched the ads, you know. Um,
yeah.
got through it.
Actually, I need to do just one more bit of history. This movie like did really well on the indie circuit. Like they showed it at one of the Godzilla fests, not mine, not the California one, or not the San Francisco
Ah.
one at least. Um,
Is it the
this
Chicago one?
I think the Chicago one, yeah.
Okay.
But they showed it at one of the Godzilla Fest. They had the suit do a little walk around. This did an indie circuit. I think it won like best in show for a Florida indie comedy festival. So like this movie's
Ah.
had a certain amount of success in the indie scene. Um, yeah. Do you want to do a quick plot synopsis? Because I've been yakking a while.
Sure. Oh, where do we start? Okay, so it's 1962. And there is a mother Notzilla who gets killed by the JSDF, as the JSDF are wont to do, of course. And the paleontologist Ichihiro Honda, a little fun fact for you guys, the director of the 1954 Godzilla movie his name is Ichiro Honda, and so this is Ichihiro Honda. Get
Whoa,
it,
deep
guys?
cut, deep
Deep
cut.
cut, deep cut. So yeah, Notzilla leaves behind an egg, and Honda decides to take it somewhere where the JSDF can't blow her to pieces. And he takes it to Ohio because it sounds like Ohio, like the Japanese word for, hello, Ohio. And flushes it down an airplane toilet halfway through. Somehow. But somehow it lands in Cincinnati, so it's fine. It didn't, I guess it was like right near the end of the flight. So it didn't get too far. There's a government organization. They're doing tests on nuclear stuff, as they are wont to do. Notzilla hatches. There's two scientists. One is the dude bro scientist, Blowhart, Dr. Richard Blowhart. And then there's the female scientist, Shirley Ugest. What's the pun there, Salt, for Ugest?
I think it's like this is a joke. Like, how?
Oh, because I initially thought of a huge chest. Because female scientists.
I didn't think of that. Maybe.
I don't know. Listen, the writing is just too complex and too smart for my own good.
We need anecdotes.
We need allegories. We need metaphors. So yeah, they find the Notzilla egg. Notzilla hatches. It drinks some beer. It grows. Antics ensue. There's a reporter who's also there. There's a French female scientist posing as a male scientist. There's a lot of gender politics. There's a lot of gender politicking going on there. A lot of stuff about masculinity as well.
There's a fake general who helps bring the army around.
Yes, there is. There are a bunch of really weird allusions to other movies like Spartacus. And then Notzilla gets shrunken and
adopted.
Yeah,
that's basically the movie.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I don't think I missed anything else.
No, I think you covered most of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I needed Lan to do that because I hate being the only one talking for extended periods of time. It just feels like
it's great because it's an opportunity for me to remember if I actually can remember the movie I watched like a day ago too.
That was actually pretty impressive. Give Lan a round of applause. If you're driving, just let go of the steering wheel and give him some claps.
Let go, and make sure you really go down on hard on the gas while you're doing it.
That's right. Gotta commit. All right. So you've got the film's production history. You've got the synopsis. You practically live in the world of Notzilla. So we're all hanging out in Ohio now, and we can now commiserate and share our thoughts on this movie.
Frankly, the formula is there for a fantastic movie experience, is what I'll say.
Yes.
It's got all the magic.
All the blessings, if you will. This is a St. Michael movie.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm. So we'll do this. We're in sequel season. I'm gonna do this similar to Galgameth. I'll break the movie down into a few arbitrary categories, and I want to get Lan's thoughts. Does that work for you?
Yeah, that works for me.
All right. Let's start with our human cast. All of the regular people in this movie. How did you like our people? And I'm gonna make you start with Ichihiro Honda.
Ichihiro Honda. You got to be careful there.
Yeah. And you can choose whether you're gonna do just actor or character or both. But we're focusing this on the people.
I think I liked him the most out of the cast. Granted, that's not necessarily a high bar, but I am kind of surprised at how much he doesn't fall into the usual lazy racist tropes. That being said, he also does fall into a bunch of lazy racist Asian tropes in there. But I think in terms of delivery, in terms of just general commitment to the bit, I think he is or maybe not the strongest, but perhaps the most palatable of the cast for me.
In terms of the tropes that he did fall into, which racist trope did you find most offensive?
Racist trope power rankings. Racist trope tier list.
I got skull shapes coming later.
Okay, wow. I think the one that caught me off guard, but also like, of course, it was gonna happen. Is there's a line he says, I think like halfway through the movie. He says, "We must go to restaurant to form keikaku. I mean, plan." And that's like a whole like mishmash of things, because the whole keikaku means plan thing from that one Bleach fan sub way back when. But I really got my eyes rolling with that one. I think some of the the bits with his father too, the whole like Asian father stereotype, that wasn't great.
I found
I think those two are the most egregious for me.
It's hard for me to explain why, but the one that really affected me negatively was the haiku battle.
Oh man, I blocked that from my memory. Holy shit. Oh god, that entire scene, man.
I can't explain why I found that so offensive. Like, I'm not Asian, but like that really it seemed really offensive.
God, I completely blocked that from my memory.
For people who haven't seen the movie, I don't know why this happens, because apparently I've blocked the preceding events. But
the preceding events is that he's fighting Dr. Blowheart, and he can't actually land a blow on him, like physically.
Right.
And then he's like, "Oh, if I can't beat you with pure strength, I'll beat you in a battle of wits." And then that's when the haiku battle happens.
Yeah, that was hard to watch. All right, speaking of Blowhard, how did we like Blowhard? The actor, the character, both, whatever.
I'm sure the actor's a nice guy, is what I'll say. Peace and love. I'm sure he's a nice guy. Yeah, probably my least favorite character in the movie. There it comes. It's like with these kinds of characters, like the real macho, the testosterone filled misogynist who just gets in the way of everyone else. It's a very fine line to toe between making him annoying but entertaining, and annoying and just pure awful, right? This is a comparison I'm going to make quite often with this movie. It's to the most recent Naked Gun movie, because I watched that a few months ago, loved it, and I think in engaging with the humor of this movie and what it's going for, I found myself reminding myself of The Naked Gun and like everything that it does well, right? And
right. And this
it
was
has
equally good.
I'm sure you have a segment for this, but I will say the lighting. I like the light. I like the lighting. No, but like The Naked Gun, that movie had it's like bro scientist type character, right? Like played by, oh god, what's his name? John Huston, Angelica Huston's half brother. That guy. And I think he plays it much more memorably, because he's not always trying to be grating. He is pompous, he is a misogynist, he is, like an awful person, but he's also really funny. And I think being really funny allows you to downplay the more awful elements or the more annoying elements. Like, if they're annoying and funny, then yeah, it's going to be funny. But if it's not funny, then what you're left with is Dick Blowhart.
There's a certain extent to which a movie should make you root for a villain.
Yeah.
Not necessarily like I agree with them ethically.
Right. But like I
be entertained.
I agree with their presence. I agree with their presence in this movie. I'm glad that he's in the movie. Right. Yeah. Didn't get that from Blowhart.
That's our other lead male. Let's move on to our ladies of the script. How did you like Shirley You Just?
Yeah, she's fine, I think. The sexual politics of this movie, even though it is from like the they're trying to make it as though it's a movie from the 60s. It leans a bit too much towards the early 2000s. Yeah, like it's the kind of stuff you'd see out of a Joss Whedon thing. To a point, it gets just. I've seen this song and dance before. This would be great for a high school production. High school drama class.
It's weird. Like, watching the sexual politics of this, I was like, I've seen this so many times, and then it hit me like a sack of bricks. I was like, oh, this is it's like sometimes dates get a little blurry, but I realized this is a Trump era film. Like, this is like a lib Christian speaking out against Trump. This is like, you should have voted for Hillary.
Right. Yes. No, you're absolutely right. This is like a 2017, I'm with her.
That's probably when he rewrote the script.
Oh, man. Yeah, I'm seeing it now. I'm definitely seeing it now. Yeah.
We only have so many leads. This other character is a bit odd in that the film doesn't seem sure whether she's like a lead character or a background character, but there is also a reporter who seems there just to kind of conveniently move a scene along when the script requires it.
Yeah, like there are points where she just literally says what's happening, just to move
and now we should go along. Here.
Yeah, and next you're gonna say, and next we're gonna go here, and of course you got to go here because that's what they said. And he's actually the child star.
Do you have any notes on this character in particular?
Not necessarily. I
'Cause
It's not like it's not that she's not memorable. It's
yeah,
just that she is a presence in the movie and not one that evokes any strong emotions. She's not necessarily annoying. She's not necessarily funny either. So yeah, she's just kind of she like she is very present. When she's there, and you can like really feel her presence.
he has a
But
lot of
that's
energy.
right. She's got a great energy. It's just that she's really there. That's really all I can
Yeah.
say.
I have two notes about her. One is that there's some bizarre accent work from her, and
Hmm.
actors get excited. I'm sure this is a lot of community theater people, but I feel that your job as a director is to decide whether or not something's working. And if you can't coach them through an accent, just be like, hey, just do your regular voice. Like
Yeah.
otherwise,
Or if I feel like they did do that, but that was like halfway through shooting the movie. Where
I think
like,
that was the case because she started talking normal about halfway through.
yeah, I think like halfway through, Mr. Team was like, you know what, just forget the accent. Just, you're good. You're good. I think he might have said that to quite a few actors because there are quite a few accents in here that just kind of go missing halfway through.
Yeah, I know you said Mr. Teamly, but it sounded like Mr. Timu for a second. I'm like, oh, that's perfect because this is We Have Naked Gun at Home.
Yeah, it's I was looking at some of the reviews and I saw a lot of comparisons to the Zaz films like Airplane, the original Naked Gun, Top Secret, right?
Yeah,
Fantastic films, fantastic humor, and I think I can see why the comparisons are made, but I don't think they help this movie at all. Um,
yeah,
yeah, but I think we can get to that. I'm sure you have
I do.
I'm sure
I
you
do.
have a segment. Perfect. Yeah, I don't want to step on your toes too much.
That's the section after this one. I wanted
Mm,
to talk about monster design. So we're talking,
okay.
and we're including monster design, monster craftsmanship, monster acting, just everything about the monster here. Quick note about Notzilla himself. He was designed and crafted by a cosplayer named Jacob Baker. I can't find much about Jacob Baker when I Googled him, so I can't speak to his other projects. But Jacob also was playing Notzilla inside the suit.
Oh, interesting. Okay. I like the suit. I think especially for the caliber of film that this is. Um, if this is a small indie production, the suit does look fittingly good for that.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I like it. It doesn't feel like it doesn't feel cheap for one. And it doesn't feel like it's disrespecting uh, you know, Godzilla designs of that era either. It feels like it's a very loving parody of the suits from that era.
I think the best part of the monster suit for me was the baby version that popped out of the egg.
Mm,
Oh, that was really
yeah.
cute. Like that, the good like Godzilla and Ultraman stuff can toe the line and sometimes do like scary and silly. And I understand this whole movie wanted to be silly, but they went especially cute for the baby, and that was good.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh, yeah, I wanted a little bit more articulation in the suit. I think if there'd been a
yeah.
little bit more movement around the neck or head or tail, that it looked a little stiff, you know.
Yeah, just a tiny bit, yeah.
But
But I mean,
to
again, if
make
this is
your
a cosplayer, right? Like,
yeah, yeah.
it's pretty good.
Oh, really impressive. I mean, like,
Hmm.
and I know this is like a very weird nerd thing to get into, but like, I really like the color palette. They did a memorable color palette. They hit a shade of green I don't see with a lot of these monsters, and
Yeah,
choices like that I respect.
yeah. Very like limestone esque.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, good job, Jacob. You're probably one of our favorite parts of the movie. Let's move on to those jokes. So, yeah, let's get into your joke philosophy, Lan, because you're on a
My
tear
joke
there.
philosophy. Okay. So have you seen Austin Powers and Goldmember?
Yes.
Do you remember that scene where Godzilla appears?
Yeah.
And then
We
he's
can't
like,
say Godzilla.
yeah, it
because
looks
that
like
would be
Godzilla, but
copyright
due to
infringement.
yeah, exactly. Due to international copyright laws, it's not Godzilla.
Yeah.
I think that one joke is funnier than 99.9% of this
I
movie.
was gonna say the same thing, man. I was gonna use Austin Powers as like an example of like kind of the peak of parodies. Like it gets parody so right.
Right. Same with The Naked Gun too, right? Like, because if you have seen the stuff that it is parodying, you can pick up on the exact ticks. And with going back to Austin Powers, if you've seen From Russia with Love, it's funny if you've seen the Austin Powers before From Russia with Love, because when you're watching From Russia with Love, you're starting to notice, oh, so that's what they picked up for, Frau Farbacino, or that's what they picked up for Mr. Evil, or that's what they picked up. You can see the specific things that they are paying homage to or parodying, and I think this movie doesn't have much of that at all. And I think the humor just really misses the mark of what a good Godzilla parody should do.
Yeah, it's weird. A lot of these jokes feel really high effort and like they're casting a wide net, and you could be doing very simple stuff that would like get Godzilla, you know?
Mm-hmm,
Like
mm-hmm.
with Mike Myers, like one thing I think about with him is he's kind of an otaku for like weird old British movies. And
Yeah,
like Austin Powers is not only a tribute to James Bond, it's a tribute and a parody of like the whole cottage industry of James Bond knockoffs and satires themselves.
right,
Like
right,
he
right.
watched all of them. Like I remember reading an interview with him where he says that there's a buzzing sound like on a phone in one of the Austin Powers movies that is the same buzzing sound from another James Bond spoof, right? Like that's like really like intense dedication and like
Right.
only something someone like him would notice. And it's like there's like little things like that I don't really see in this movie.
Yeah, it just doesn't feel like I'm not to cast doubt on Mr. Teamley's prior Godzilla watching experience, but I think, when you look at a Godzilla movie, and we have watched quite a few Godzilla movies lately for the show, one of the key things that sticks out to me is that you can break down a Godzilla movie into, specific, not necessarily tropes, but like beats, right? And I think hitting those beats, it comes with its own set of skills. Like how do you hit that beat in a parody? How do you hit the beat of things getting worse, or the monster getting stronger, or the monster getting bigger, or even something like, the inception of the monster? How do you make that funny? And this movie doesn't really do that. Like the inception of Notzilla is, well, the original Notzilla dies and then makes the egg, and then the egg hatches because what was it? Blowhard pours beer on it. Is that what it is?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
See,
And
that's
so
that.
yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. Well, the pouring beer thing is really weird because the closest thing I can think of is Gremlins. It feels a little bit like, yeah,
Yeah.
don't do this one thing. And like it's fine to parody other monster franchises. Like a lot of this is arguably King Kong too. But
Mm-hmm.
like it doesn't end up playing out as anything more than like, well, you shouldn't have given him beer. Now he likes beer. Now he's kind of drunk. And like that could be funny, but then it begs the question of like, well, why is this movie in a nuclear site to begin with? Like if you've decided you're going to get rid of the whole nuclear angle with Godzilla and make him beer powered, that's fine. I would then maybe set the movie in a brewery, or like it didn't
Right.
need the nuclear connection.
Yeah, that whole part of the movie was, not to say unnecessary, but I just did not care for it at all.
Yeah.
You know, Yeah, like you mentioned the Gremlins effect of it, and it's reminding me that like with Austin Powers and with the Naked Gun specifically, the Naked Gun is also, you know, reaching out to more than just action movies or cop movies. It is reaching out into other genres and other or films and other sources for its humor, right? And I think it's fine to do that. And I think if they really did play more into the Gremlins aspect of it, you could have gotten some really funny jokes out of it. But I think they didn't go all the way. They kind of really half-assed it because, yeah, I don't know. The other thing that I didn't really like were the recurring bits and some of the pacings with the gags. Another Naked Gun comparison here, the most recent one. There's a really stupid but funny bit where everyone keeps dropping their coffee cups, and the first few times it happens, you notice it, and then by like the fifth or sixth iteration, it becomes less pronounced, but you still notice it, and it's still funny. Right.
Yeah.
And it's just like a norm, by that point, it's a norm. Here, the jokes that do recur and become a norm still stick out on the fifth or sixth iteration. Like, for instance, Blowhart's mispronunciations. Right. Like they still make a point of saying, oh, it's ego, or it's ergo, not ego. And by that point, he's already mispronounced.
Yeah, I know exactly that scene, and that could have been funny if it had just like kept going. But the fact that the character had to point it out, kind of deflates the levity.
Right, it feels like they have to explain the joke every time it happens, instead of trusting the viewer to understand that okay, that is the mechanic, like that is how he speaks. He is gonna keep getting things wrong, and I think the other aspect of it is that like the words that he gets wrong have to get funnier too as it goes along, right? Because by the time they stop explaining, he has to start making funnier Freudian slips, and that doesn't really happen.
There
is a lot of joke explaining in this movie too, I've noticed.
I mean, I watch a lot of Japanese monster stuff. I'm not saying that Americans can't do it. Like I think there's a lot of ways Americans could spoof it, but this it's like beating you over the head with the jokes. Like I was mentioning recently, like I've been rewatching Trailer Park Boys, and I'm bringing that up because that's a very stupid show. Like stupid humor can be really good. And at the end of season 2, there's a scene where they're on the run from the cops. Their car flips over. The car is about to explode, and they crawl out of the wreckage. And as you see Julian getting out, the drink he has in his hands is still in his hands. So the joke is that he was driving with an alcoholic drink, and somehow his drink hasn't spilled. So when you see him climb out and the reveal of the drink, it's really funny. But I feel like the way a gag like that would be handled here is someone would go, "And you didn't spill your drink?"
Right, right. The thing you mentioned earlier, you said something about a community theater troupe feeling to this, and that's it really does. It feels like a community improv theater getting together, and the humor really reflects that. There is a yes and element to it, where a lot of the humor in this movie is characters going yes and to a thing that's happened.
When the thing would have been fine, like, hey, that's a decent gag.
Exactly. Like you could let a decent gag breathe, and they don't really do that because, the mode of improv theater is that like you have to keep it going. And you keep it going by being verbal about it. The pacing also just not great with the jokes. They fire a lot of jokes, and not that there is an issue with firing a lot of jokes. Like the latest Naked Gun movie. That was like a joke every 5 seconds. But you know, even the ones that didn't land had one that did land, you know, 5 seconds later, right? This is it was just a continuous string of jokes that weren't landing, which just made it more annoying.
Well,
when there was a huge string of them.
And I haven't seen the new Naked Gun, but you were referencing this these coffee cups that are getting dropped, right?
Mm-hmm,
And there's that's a good example of a style of joke where I don't know the name of the structure, but where you're setting something up and then there's a big payoff later.
Right.
That's like it's kind of a slow burn, and I don't think there was anything like that in this movie. It's just like, and here's another. Like, okay,
yeah, very improv-y, you know, like it's them coming up with an improv joke on the spot, which is fine if this is improv theater, but you know, for a scripted movie like this, I feel like there needs to be a bit more care with, you know, how you're pacing these things out.
Speaking of care. Did you have any other notes you wanted to make about jokes?
Not necessarily. I think, you know, if this is like you said, an improv troupe or a community theater troupe, this is fine. Right? Like this is the caliber of joke you'd expect from that you know, genre of comedy, I guess.
Well, since we've covered jokes, I wanted to get into more general writing and direction, and why not let's throw in some production here too, because I think this is a pretty small crew. So writing, direction, and production, what do you got?
I think the movie looks pretty good. I like a lot of the lighting choices and the set choices. It feels, you know, requisitely cheap, and I mean that in a good way. I like the style of the lighting that they use, you know, like using what's it called, reflector to bounce light into the actors' faces. The set work, the colors, even the color grading I liked quite a bit. From a production level, I think this is pretty good. I'm trying to think of what else I can be nice about. Costumes for the most part pretty good, pretty, you know, standard for what they're going for. And yeah, the lighting was good. Yeah. You got any notes on the production results?
Well, speaking of lighting, they did use some rear projection, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that was nice.
I think I'm a bit more critical of the production level. You know, when you make a movie, you decide, hey, what am I making here? Am I making a feature or a short? And I think if this had been a short, its shortcomings would have been a lot less pronounced, and its strengths would have been amplified. You know, like I am very easy to please when it comes to kaiju stuff. And the fact that there was not one building smashed was really sad.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I think like the closest you get is the monster picks up this beer advertisement, and the joke is that the advertisement has real beer inside it, so now he's drinking a giant can of beer. But like,
it's you know, it's very reminiscent of Taro Man when he picks up that water tower and drinks out of it.
Right. But Taro Man, I think is a way better spoof on giant monsters than this is. It hits a lot of those notes, and like to not smash even one building, I think is a sign of creative limitation. Like you know, I don't expect it to be the limitation. I don't expect it to be the level of like a Subaraya or Toho shot, but like it would not have been very expensive to build one building and then like set off a few little tiny lights or sparks when
the thing is, they did have, like, in terms of production values, they did have, it looked like they had the resources to build stuff like that. You know, like they had the the miniature trucks on the little hills
Right.
there, which I thought were cute. Like it is
Yeah.
very obviously, like a toy truck that they're moving across,
Yeah, it's
and
fine.
there's a charm to it.
Yeah.
But you're right. It's weird that doesn't extend to the city destruction.
I think most of the city was just rear projection stuff. I think there's like the
Mm,
one building that he interacts with when he picks up the beer, and I'm like, smash that, you know. Maybe that's basic of me, but like when I see Godzilla, I want to see him break a building. It's
right.
kind of a given.
I mean, even Galgameth, when we were
That was
talking about that,
awesome.
it had some great miniature work with.
Yeah, when he bashes the castle,
Yeah, exactly.
that was so cool. Yeah, I think on the production level too, the other miss was if there had been these subtle changes to the camera work with the monster, they could have there could have been more like forced perspective to make Notzilla
Mm,
bigger. Um, I
yeah,
really
I think the issue is that the two times that we really do see that size come into play is when he's picking up that doll, and that
yeah.
kind of loses its energy or its power when it gets used for a gag about, oh, they're just lifting up a doll, because you got like the married couple that's also Statler and Waldorf that are
Yeah,
trying to like
that's Mitch Teamley.
lampshade. That's Mitch Teamley. Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Did you notice
Um.
this movie had literal lamp shading in it?
Yes. Yes, it did. Yeah. Where was I? Yeah. So that like the fact that it gets downplayed for the sake of a gag, uh, that was kind of disappointing. I think there were a lot of opportunities where they could have used that size or forced perspective, and they didn't. Yeah, like it feels very conservative, even with its use of tokusatsu effects, if it as it were.
Which is strange because when I was reading interviews with Teamley, he was talking about how much like the production designer and other people, the team had like really worked to achieve these effects. And so
Mm.
I watched it, I'm like, I'm looking for the effects.
Yeah, where the squibs at? Where are
Yeah.
the where's the sparklers?
So, I have two theories on parody. One theory is that most of the best parodies are works of love, essentially. Like
Hmm.
Austin Powers, Black Dynamite. Those are made by people who really love the genre they're spoofing.
Right.
I think my new theory to add on to that is if you're going to satire something, make sure that you're not satirizing a satire unless you can add something new.
Mm.
Because watching this, I was realizing, actually, most of the Showa Toho Godzilla films are satires already. Like even Honda himself says that. Like he talks about Godzilla versus Kong being silly on purpose. Like he even has a quote where
Right.
he's like, "Yeah, I think this should be stupid. I think this should be silly. It doesn't work as well when it's too serious." So it's like, what are we doing here? We already have the source material is the spoof.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. It feels like it's just a few layers too removed
Yeah.
from what it's parodying. And I
Yeah.
think that distance is what ends up being its greatest bane, is that it's not willing to really get down and dirty with what it's parodying.
Yeah. 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 I think distance is the key word there. I agree.
Hmm.
Well, I have one more segment, but before I get into that final segment, any final thoughts on any other topics we've covered?
Let me see. Let me see what other notes I've taken. Oh yes, watching this on Tubi, I get the closed captioning experience. Thank you, Tubi. Even though you're owned by the Murdochs, you at least have some consideration for the deaf and hard of hearing. Uh, Anyways, I say this to preface that one of the first bits of closed captioning in this movie is tense Oriental music.
Oh, that's right. That Oriental stock theme came up
Yes.
so much.
And I was so taken aback by that closed captioning tag, and I was like, I gotta write this down. What the? Why do they say that? Why not? I don't know. Just baffling.
I had forgotten how often that one. I don't remember the name of that instrument, but you hear it in like every oh, this is set in like Edo era Japan
we
or
love
whatever.
it's incredible. Like, for as much as this movie does eschew a lot of Orientalist beats, it still ends up falling into like some of the simplest trappings.
I revised my previous statement then, Lan. The haiku battle was not the most racist part. That music cue was so
yeah,
racist.
You know what? Yeah.
Thank you for reminding me.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You know, like I said before, it's got all the components where you can make a good movie out of it. I think it just doesn't have the right amount of care to make a movie like this really, really prosper. And I think a bit more time in the research phase and the joke writing phase and the joke scripting phase really could have gotten you a movie that, ooh, here's something that I just remembered. In terms of low budget parodies that do a fantastic job of showing love to the source material and use really fun practical effects. Mega 64's Blank in 5 Minutes series. Their Dragon Ball Z in 5 Minutes series, fantastic. It's an early Tastemakers grab bag, if you will. If you really want to see what a low budget parody or a spoof that really shows its love for what it's spoofing,
this looks great.
That's where you got to go. Yeah.
This Majin Buu costume is amazing.
Oh, it's fantastic. Like the Cell costume with the helmet and the things. Oh, so good. Like it really, it really, like the sweeted style of things, like that's, I think if they leaned a bit more into that, I think they could have gotten something really fantastic. Yeah.
All right. Any other final thoughts?
It's crazy that this came out before the Pope drops in. I just
this one of those film.
Things. Yeah, unfortunately.
Like, I like the Pope drops in. I need people to get this.
It just, I just. Oh.
All right. So here's my final segment.
Okay.
Maybe this is narcissistic of me, but when I watch a film that doesn't really jive with me, I think, how would I have improved this? And so I did a little script rewrite, and I want to get your thoughts.
Okay.
All right. So we've got Notzilla. He's tearing up the city. They're deciding, our protagonist, how are we going to stop him? How are we going to save the city? Now, at this point in the film, the shrink ray that saves the day and shrinks Notzilla has not been introduced, right?
Right.
So our Shirley You Just, one of our only characters with intellect, and Honda, they mutually agree. We need to appeal to Notzilla's conscience. So they run up the stairs of a building. They go on the roof, and they're standing on the roof, and they're looking him eye to eye. They say, "Notzilla, you have not been baptized. Surely one day you will die. And when you do, you will not know the grace of God. If you can accept the light of Jesus, then you will know God. You will meet the Maker in the glory of heaven one day." And a single tear falls down Notzilla's cheek. They walk Notzilla under a waterfall, and he gets baptized that way.
Okay.
Still
I've
a
got
really
one
can.
suggestion. I've
Yeah,
got
yeah.
one
We're in
suggestion.
the development phase. What do you got?
So when that tear falls from his eyes, there should be a church nearby where a baptism is happening, and the tear
Oh,
does the baptism for someone on the
whoa.
ground.
That would be really good because now you've got like this chaos of a monster stomping a city, and this priest has decided, no, the baptism has to go on anyway. I think we did a pretty good rewrite there.
Yeah, pretty good, pretty quick, pretty on the fly there.
Yeah. I mean, if it's St. Michael films, like I really wanted that level of wackiness, you know. I never quite got there.
Yeah, and it's not like the Godzilla or Toho and Subaraya stuff haven't shied away from doing things with Christ or Christian elements. Like look at all the crucifixions they've done. It's
Yeah, I mean,
perfectly in
Ultraman
line.
heroes have worn crucifixes as necklaces in the series. It's a very Christian series.
Yeah, very perfectly in line with what you're parodying. So Mr.
Yeah, yeah.
Teamley, if you're listening, good try,
We got a pitch
good
for
effort.
Notzilla 2, though.
I know you said in the movie itself that you didn't want to do a sequel. However, hear me out. Notzilla, but it's good this time.
Hope you hear this, King.
Yeah. I'm sure that'll really get him wanting to hear our suggestions.
I'm sure 70-something-year-old pastors love getting notes from millennials like that.
Is he a pastor?
Yeah, he is.
I shouldn't be surprised. I don't know what I don't know what I expected there.
Well, that is our sequel to The Pope Drops In. If you haven't yet, listen to that episode. That film was a joy for me to watch. And now we've squared the circle. We've watched Pope Drops In and Notzilla. So hopefully we don't have to go back to that part of Ohio anytime soon.
I will say one last thing. It does surprise me that the Pope himself liked Notzilla that much.
He's a man of culture.
I suppose so.
Ohio culture.
Ohio culture,
yeah. Well, thanks for listening. If you want to support the show, get your butt over to patreon.com/midnightgrappleranimals. We got a huge back catalog. We got other shows we're doing. We got Kamen Ride Along, where we watch all the pilots of Kamen Rider. It's been really fun. We'd love to have you there. Before we close out, we do a little segment over here that we call Tastemaker's Grab Bag. We'll do a quick recommendation of some type of media or experience that we have been enjoying. Lan, what you pulling out of the bag today?
I've got more than one this time. So first, we talked about it quite a bit when we were recording one of our recent episodes, but I got the opportunity to see one battle after another in 70 millimeter IMAX. You might have heard Toronto is the hot spot for OBAA heads. Yeah, I loved it. It's great. It's a perfect movie to make leftists be really annoying. I've seen a lot of self-proclaimed leftists completely miss the point of this movie and get real annoying about it. And to me, it all just comes across as the leftist version of Mark Wahlberg saying that if he was on the 9/11 plane, shit would have gone down different. So, it's a pretty good indicator of how good this movie was. Better than 9/11. Better than 9/11. So that's my first recommendation. The other one that I want to recommend, and this is actually something that I also want to spring into a potential bonus episode for our Patreon at patreon.com/midnightgrappleranimals. I recently rewatched John Woo's The Killer, the original 1987 film. It is fantastic. I think it is one of John Woo's best films ever. It's very melodramatic. It's kind of mean-spirited too in some ways. But it's so life-affirming in other ways. It's such a dense movie that's also like an action-packed extravaganza. And so my pitch there is that he did a remake of that just 1 year ago, and so I feel like that's a good fodder for a bonus episode if we want to do that. But that's stuff we can talk about after this recording's done. That's it for my Tastemakers grab bag. Salt, back to you.
I have one movie that was recommended to me. Actually, I have two things. First is a movie recommended to me by none other than Lan. Lan recommended I watch Snake Eyes.
Yes,
the
I did.
De Palma film starring
Specifically the Brian De Palma film starring Nick Cage.
Thank you. Not the G.I. Joe one.
Not the G.I. Joe one, folks.
Nothing against that. I barely know what it is, but the De Palma one from '98 with Nick Cage. A lot of people like it. I think it's a masterpiece. I wrote a whole long thing about it on Letterboxd, but yeah, just go watch the movie. You'll have a good time. My other rec is also brought to you by Lan. It's a Lan-centric episode today.
What's going on?
We were talking about. You'll see. We were talking a lot about parodies, and I got to thinking about good parodies, and Taro Man is a really good parody. It checks all the boxes. And Lan, you did the subs for Taro Man, right?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if I'm legally allowed to say that I did the subs, and I'm not sure if I'm legally allowed to say that there are more subs coming. I don't know. Can't say for certain.
Was there a second season of Taro Man? Did I see that?
There was a second set of specials, and there's the movie that came out this year. Yeah, but there is a second Blu-ray filled with specials and one-shots in the Taro Man universe that may or may not be. No, because it's in Japan and I'm in Canada.
I really want to see that. Yeah, I only saw the first. Anyway, Taro Man is a fantastic parody series that may or may not have been subtitled by Lan, but whoever did do the subtitles did a good job.
Yeah. I think I will accept the thanks on behalf of whoever actually did the subs.
We salute you, sir.
We salute you, random person.
Okay, that's been another episode of Midnight Grappler Animals. As always, thank you for listening and
keep on grappling. It's so easy. It's so perfect. Every single time.
Every time.
And if it wasn't, you know what you can do? You can go to all the stuff in the description. Literally add us on every single one. Go to Salt's Blue Sky, Keegan's Blue Sky, my Blue Sky, Discord server. Go to the email. Go to the everything. Yeah, just tell us how perfect we are. We need the ego boost, as we've always said.